Hi, I am Kristen Abart, and I'm here with Lori Welch and Brenda Martin, and we are here today to do a comprehensive newbie training. Well, first of all, what do you have with this business called Plexus? You paid $34.95, and what did that get you? Lori, what did that get them?
It got you a website, the same type of website that all three of us have. It got you a full staff, shipping department, just everything that comes along with your Plexus business.
A website, customer service. Yes. What else, Brenda?
You have the opportunity to get your products paid for, or to just earn $500 or $1,000 a month, or to go all the way and build a huge successful business and earn financial freedom.
That's right. So of all those things, whatever your goals may be starting out, all of these things we're going to talk about today are things that can help you reach them. Okay, so one thing we want you to know is that everybody's journey is going to look a little bit different. That's the great thing about freedom in Plexus, is that we all work this business slightly different according to our own strengths, but there are some themes among successful ambassadors, and that's part of what we're presenting to you today. Lori, do you have anything to add about the freedom we have in Plexus?
Yes, this is a very natural business. It's very natural for you to share products and an opportunity with people that you believe in. So we're not going to really give you scripts or anything like that you're going to talk to your friends with. Share naturally, take these tips from us today, but know that that's what this is. You have freedom in your business to express yourself. We just want to give you some helpful ideas.
That's right. Okay, so things always start out with a why and a goal. There is power in knowing why you're doing what you're doing, and there's power in stating a goal, even though your goals will change. I know mine have. I started this business because I thought, wow, I would love to make $500 or $600 extra a month. My husband always provided really well for our family, but it would have been nice to have just some extra play money and extra groceries. You know, we buy a lot of organic food, so just to have some flexibility in that area is really the way I started this business. Lori, why did you start working your Plexus business?
I started this business because I fully believed in the products and the business opportunity, and I really wanted to take it as far as I possibly could. I knew it was the right place and the right time, and so my goal was really to get to diamond status. Because I believed it was attainable. So that was my why. Over the course of time, my why has changed, and it has grown, and it's changed several times. And so that's okay. But in the beginning, that was my reason, because I believed it was doable.
And I remember you said, why not?
Yeah. Why would anybody not do this?
Yeah, this is such good timing, such good product, such good company. Why not? Okay, what about you, Brenda?
Well, mine was twofold. First of all, I knew I had to tell all my friends and family and loved ones and everybody about this product. And I also had a goal of getting my family out of debt. And I decided it's possible with Plexus, and I was going to do it. And it has.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so one thing that we want to tell you to do is, where do you want to be in a year? Think about that. So we want you, there's power in writing down your goals and telling your sponsor your goals. Look, where do I want to be in a year? Now back that up. That means I have to be where in 9 months. That means I have to be where in 6 months, where in 3 months, where in a month, and where in a week. Consider all those things. And even if it's just, I would love to make $1,000 a month, or I would love to be gold, or I would love to be ruby. Whatever those goals are, we're here, and your sponsor's here to support you in your personal goals. But don't be afraid to write them down and think long-term and short-term. Now, your why. There's a really powerful thing Lori had us do one time, and we took pictures of what mattered to us. Was it a family vacation? Do you want to make memories with your kids? Is it to get out of debt, like Brenda said? Is it to buy a new home or a new car or pay off student loans? Put something tangible on a piece of paper and put it in front of you, because your why, you're going to need your why. You're going to need to draw on that in the moments maybe you don't want to be consistent.
Yes. I know Brenda has said often that some of the best Plexus work she did was at 11 o'clock at night when she was tired and she really wanted to go to bed. And so the vision board, which will help you draw on your why and help you realize what your why would be, you have magazines, you cut out pictures from the magazines, just take the words and cut them out, things like freedom, vacation, whatever appeals to you, cut those out, cut out the pictures, glue them onto a big piece of paper, and then also write your why and share your why with people. It's important that you tell people why you're doing this business. That could be your upline, your spouse, verbalizing it, creating it in a visual form that really helps solidify it to yourself.
Yeah, and tell your why to your friends and family, even if they're not on board with Plexus. They're going to be so much more supportive and endearing of you if they know why. Are you doing this to help more ministry projects, to be able to give more, whatever it is, even if it's to support your family and some financial goals you have. That's amazing, and people who love you will support you in that. Okay, so we're going to move on to the ABCs in this business, and this is the very foundational thing you need in this business. A is for attitude. You don't have a good attitude in this, you're not going to go very far. Brenda, I would love for you to expand on that.
Okay, well, I first of all think you have to have a complete passion, and it has to show. You have to have an excitement for what you're doing. Your posture is important, the way you present yourself to people. And so if they know this is something you believe in and you want to help them, they will feel that. So don't ever worry. If your motive is right, you're going to come across right. If your motive is questionable, then you probably want to consider working on your skill of coming across to people, because this is all about helping others. It's really that simple. And so you might as well get yourself out of the way. Don't worry about it that you're not a salesperson. Don't worry about it that you have never done anything like this before, and you don't even have your results or have a lot of knowledge about the products. Just be excited because you get to help others and change lives, and then they will pick up on that excitement. And that's going to take you a long way.
That's right. So attitude is everything. It really is. It also affects the people you attract. Your attitude is going to attract people like that. And so you want positive, energetic, excited people on your team. Promise. Okay, B is for belief. And you need 4 areas of belief to do well in Plexus. The first area of belief is our products, and you can gain belief in our products by visiting testimony groups, reading, going to live events. You have to plug in to live events. That's going to be a whole nother subtopic, but reading testimonies, going to live events, hearing people's stories, and reading testimonies is also going to give you an arsenal of stories for your friends, maybe people that are struggling with similar things, and it's very, very powerful. Okay. Belief in the products. Second is belief in the company. Lori, tell us some things that you've learned about our CEO and some of our other corporate staff over the last 2 years.
Okay. I have learned that they care so much about us as ambassadors. The fact that we're debt-free as a company with the assets that we have, and the fact that we were the 8th fastest growing privately held company in the United States, 2nd fastest growing in the health industry, and doing that completely debt-free offers so much stability to your position as an ambassador in this company. Also, the fact that they care so much about protecting what we have built up in this industry, in this business. They care more about that than they care about gaining new market share. And so to me, that is just very, very important.
And you were out to eat with Tarl Robinson, our CEO, one time.
Yes, I was. Okay. So I was, and there was a big new market potential for a segment of our community. And there were some problems involving the website and getting those people. And I love what he said to the person that was bringing that to his attention, because they were saying we could gain so much more market share if we just kind of tweaked things here and tweaked things there. And he said, I will never risk what the current ambassadors in our company have built up for their livelihoods. And he said it really firmly, for potential business with Plexus, for potential market share. I will never stake the stability of this company for potential growth. And it was awesome. I just felt like, wow, he really cares. So that was great.
That is neat, yeah. Okay, so we went through attitude, belief in products, belief in our company. Next is belief in network marketing. You have to know what we have in our industry. This is not the network marketing of old, and Plexus Compensation and Plexus Business is completely different than any other network marketing company out there. We come in for $34.95. We don't tell anyone to go into debt, to live outside of their means. We say, hey, buy a website and a distributor number for $34.95. Your minimum is $100 a month to get paid. That can be your products or that can be customers that meet that. We don't tell anyone to buy extra product or to live a lifestyle to show people that they're making anything. No, this is a way to gain freedom, not to go into debt. So just know that if people think that something we're doing is anything other than just a very respected and growing business model, then just know that they're coming from perceptions of long past or maybe network marketing not done correctly. Know that ours is a viable business opportunity that a lot of companies are actually opening their doors to, taking them off the shelves, out of standard marketing and putting it into the hands of the people. We get paid to open new markets for Plexus. We get paid to recommend this to people we know, care about, or even strangers. And I love that we get to get compensated rather than celebrities, marketing campaigns, billboards, commercials, whatever. That we're the moms and pops of this. And I was at an event one time and I was telling about the side of our business, and a family member who is getting her master's in business administration, she told me, who isn't in network marketing, she said, Kristen, what you're saying is right. Your industry is growing, and that's because the economy is becoming more social and people are trying things because their friends recommend them rather than because of traditional marketing. And so I love that we're ahead of the game. Not only are we ahead of the game in some of the health things with Plexus, we're ahead of the game business-wise. And I love what this business model can do for people. So look into it. Read Business of the 21st Century by Robert Kiyosaki if you have any questions about what our business model actually is. Okay, the last one is belief in yourself. Brenda, can you please talk about belief in yourself?
Sure. When I first heard that term, I thought, oh, this sounds like something on a princess movie or something, some kind of weird philosophy. But I have discovered how important that is, because if you seriously don't think you can do this, you probably can't. And so if you really want to get your products paid for, you really want to earn some income, you have to believe that you can. And I have not really had anyone join my team that I thought, oh, they can't do this. Everyone can do it. And you have to just simply believe that. It really is that simple. Know that if you are all about helping others and you're talking to people, they are going to use the product. You are going to grow the business because you know you can, and you're going to tell yourself that. You're not going to tell yourself you can't, and it'll be amazing.
Yep, and we believe in you. Okay, so we went over the ABCs, attitude, belief, and C is now consistency. You can work this business part-time, but you can't work this business some of the time. I see lots of wonderful ambassadors with potential work really hard, they do great, their business is growing, and they're like, oh, life is busy, I just need to take a break. And what happens to their business when they do that, Brenda?
It takes a break too.
And what happens to their team's businesses?
Yeah, people will follow what the leader is doing. And so you can't ever feel like, oh man, I've brought so many people on board, I've worked so hard, I'm just going to take a break now, because they're going to see that. And then they're going to decide, oh, a break is fine. And you will suffer every time you do that. So a little bit each day, consistent and steady, it works so much better than gung-ho and then a break, and then gung-ho and then a break. People aren't going to see you consistent, and they're going to think, oh, you're wishy-washy in this business, and that will affect.
Okay, yes. So some daily consistency, that leads to our next bullet point, which is daily IPA. We talk about income producing activity daily. Now, some minimums that Lori and Brenda and I see people progress in their business, and this literally takes 10 minutes or less, is to contact 2 people a day minimum, 1 to 3 social media posts with about 30% Plexus testimonials, Plexus business, and speak from the heart. And Brenda will go over Facebook a little bit later, or social media, and how to really utilize that. But 2 new contacts a day, 1 to 3, somewhere in there daily with 30% plexus. That's the minimum. There are, on our Plexus U website and on our Facebook groups, we have some great examples of things you can send to people. But would y'all say that's a good minimum?
Very good.
Yes. And if you keep that up 6 to 7 days a week, you will see progress. Okay, so that leads, how are you going to contact these 2 new people a day? What do you need to make first?
You need to make a list. That is something that we did not know was a network marketing thing to do. My husband and I made a list, and he actually suggested it because it was very logical. And so it turns out that that is actually what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to make a list. And so it just really helps you stay on task. And you want to qualify that list in a certain way. There's some things that help a person be successful in this business, and you want to get team members as quickly as you can that are going to run with this like you want to. And so the first thing would be a work ethic, and we've already kind of talked about that. That is really surprising to me, that a person will let something as little as the minimum IPA that Kristen just talked about stand between them and success, financial freedom, and success in this business for their family. But believe it or not, that's true oftentimes. And so a person has to have a work ethic. They also have to have spunk and some sort of energy. That doesn't mean they have to be the life of the party, because I certainly am not. Actually, I'm kind of a quiet person, but they have to have some sort of a drive. And to be at the top of your list, the people that you want to talk to.
So this list we're talking about, make 100, 200. People who need the products, maybe need the business, or just people that might know people that do, right? So when we're talking about qualifying your list, we're talking about putting a star. Who would you just know that could run with it? So you have this big list of people that you work your way through, but the stars you have are the people that are going to have the work ethic like Lori talked about, the emotional maturity. Did we go over that yet? No. Okay. Well, next people you want to look for is emotional maturity. Right? I mean, we don't need to really go into that, but less drama is going to make mama happy, right?
Yes.
So, okay. So she said spunk, work ethic, emotional maturity, and influence. Is this person influential to whatever their crowd is? Do people trust them? Do maybe they know people that may want to join you in this? Always be thinking about those things. Brenda, do you have anything to add about the list?
You guys covered it.
Okay, awesome. Okay, next up, this is something that Brenda and Lori are really, really good at, and that is the fortune is in the follow-up. So Brenda, talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, that's actually one of the things that initially was maybe my most unfavorite, because you would check in with somebody after they started the product and they'd say, oh, I'm just not noticing anything, or they'd have something to complain about. So I started dreading checking in, but it turns out that checking in gave me I ended up with way more positive than negative results with people. And most of them were always like 100% thankful that I checked in with them. It shows you're thinking of them and you care and you're here for them. So I really, really strongly understand now how true it is that fortune is in the follow-up. You're going to want to be consistent with that. You don't want to overdo it, but you want to be regular enough that they know you're there.
That's right. So Brenda was talking about follow-up with customers. Lori, what about follow-up with potentials?
Okay, follow-up with potentials is awesome. So when we said with the IPA 2 new contacts and 1 follow-up, really follow-up is key. So you would follow up with somebody when you've made that initial contact, and then they say, gee, I'm not really sure if I'm interested right now. I'm going to a new doctor. Why don't you check back with me and I'll see what my doctor says. Send me a list of the ingredients. So you send the list of ingredients, and then oftentimes a person will think, well, the ball's in their court. No, this is your business. The ball is always in your court. And so it's your role to follow up on that person. Say, hey, did you take that list to your doctor? What did they say? And send them a testimony. This is somebody that had a similar situation. Their doctor gave approval because they wanted the approval, and look what happened with them. Or someone that said, I just joined Weight Watchers. I don't know if I want to take this product. product. You check in with them. How's it going with Weight Watchers? I'm so excited. Look at how much weight I've lost. You really need to get on this product. So that would be follow-up.
Yes, and Lori a lot of times said to me at the beginning, this is a numbers game, right? This is just putting this out there to a lot of people. And she says, don't be surprised if you get a lot of no's. You are going to get a lot of no's, but that doesn't mean you don't recontact them. So something I recently read in a book Lori sent to me, which was, what is it, Millionaire by Halftime or Halftime Millionaire?
Yes, Millionaire by Halftime.
Millionaire by Halftime by Presley Swaggart, I believe. He gave me a really great idea. He said, when people say no or not right now, then put the ball back in your court and say, okay, great. Can I check in with you again in 3 months? Or can I check in with you again in 6 months? Or say something like, could I send you some testimonies every now and then if I see something that I think you'd like? People are always going to say yes. And that means that when they are ready, they're going to come back. And as long as you're doing what you said you were going to do, the 3 or 6 months, or every now and then, 6 to 8 weeks, you send them a testimony, who are they going to come back to when they're ready?
Right.
They're not going to go randomly to what they see on social media or randomly when someone mentions it to them. They're going to feel like, wow, I'm already working with someone because they're committed to me and my success.
Yes.
Yes. So don't be surprised if people say no right away. What's the average time people need to be re-exposed to things?
It can take as long as, 7 months, 8 months. I have somebody.
2 years?
Yeah, I have somebody right now that, surprisingly enough, they're joining now, and it's 2 years. And so I did follow up on them for 2 years.
Yes. I think my husband told me 7 exposures is typically, and re-exposures and layering exposures is what people need when they're introduced to a new idea or a new product. Some people will jump on board right away, but a lot of people need re-exposure and to feel comfortable with that. So know that there's a lot of power in following up and in you holding the ball in your court, telling someone when you're going to check in with them again. That's a big deal. Okay, and this is another one I'm excited to learn from Lori and Brenda. This next topic is how to close the deal.
Okay,
all right.
Awesome. Okay, a lot of times, because this is your business, I already talked about that, and the ball is always in your court, pretty much, it's your responsibility to tell people what you would like them to do. And so there are different ways that you can close. There's teaser closes where you're saying, can you see why I'm so excited about this and why I want you to do this? That could be a teaser close. So you're not saying, when are we getting on the phone and signing you up? You're just saying, can't you see why I'm so excited? The reason that's a teaser close is because they can respond with another potential objection, meaning you haven't completely convinced me, I need information on X. Or they can say, yes, I can see that. So then you can build off of that initial little tester close. And a lot of times the people that you're working with, following up on, contacting, those are your friends and your family. So you can just go ahead and close them. One of my favorite closes was with a really good friend of mine, and I told her, she told me no. I told her, okay, fine, I'm going to get a Lexus and I will give you a ride in it, but you're not going to have one. And she responded with, okay, fine, I'll pay your $34.95 and join your business. And so another case with somebody that I didn't know as well, I just told them, I really want you on these products. Can you please do this? I really want you to do this. Or I really want you on my team. Join my business now. Don't be afraid to do that.
I'll give you resistor. Well, you can see why I just signed up, right? All right.
Best thing ever.
Yeah.
So glad you did.
Is there any other tips on closing, Brenda? Do you have any?
Well, I was just thinking when Lori was saying that, people need these products so bad, and they don't maybe see that. So we kind of have to help them see that. And so asking questions is one way I like to close, because you get them to validate exactly why I want them on the products or on my team. So, ask them questions like, what is something you could use help with, or would you like to earn a little bit of money, whatever angle you're coming at, and then they come back to you with the answers, and you're like, okay, so there you are. Let's go. When are you ready to get started?
Yes, and yeah, those are all great. My style is a little bit different, where I'm like, hey, you have options. You can do it. I just want you to on the products, or I want you on my team, whatever. What do you want to do? There's retail, there's preferred, there's joining. And I kind of present the 3 options. And you pick one and let's do this, you know. And so I love offering options to people, and then they're like, well, what is the ambassador thing? And then I get to talk about that, or what is the customer thing? And I get to talk about that. And really, I really do honestly feel like I'm there to support them in what they want to do. So those are some ideas from me. Okay, next topic is social media and consistently sharing from the heart. Brenda, you have a great way to do that.
Well, think about what you have been doing on Facebook already. What do you use Facebook for? You use it to reach your friends by letting them know what's going on in your life, what's going on in your head. And so once you have learned about Plexus, you're holding an amazing gold mine in your hand, and you need to be telling your friends. And so you see it that way, and it comes across that way. So you just let them know what you think about it and how you're doing, your results. Once you have a story, that's awesome to share. And I want to quick mention while I'm on that subject, if you're in 6 months down the road and a year down the road and you're still feeling good on it, remind people that you are. You know, people initially share their story and then kind of just get busy sharing other stories and kind of forget. So once in a while, let people know how great you're still feeling. But we love the fact that we can share testimonies. So just do that as a way of showing your friends the variety of ways this is helping people. So when you copy a testimony, don't just share, like hit the share button. You're going to want to copy and paste, save the photo if there's a photo, so that it comes from you. It's not from someone else. They know it's from you. And share your own little thoughts about it, a little tidbit at the beginning, what this means to you and why you're sharing it. And it will come across as genuine, and people will see what all the products are doing for others.
Yeah, so if you're brand new and you've joined and you haven't utilized Facebook or social media yet, it's a tool that you can get your message in front of hundreds to thousands of people without you having to call each one, email each one, so, you know, talk to each one in person. It's a powerful tool. So your first post, once you get your new welcome pack, can just be, I would love who's going to join me. You don't have to have your story yet. You can trust all the testimonies in our groups where we have testimonies. Those are real people sharing real stories. They're not selling groups. Draw on those, share those, have confidence in what you have to offer. And even if you don't know much, it's just, hey, I'm starting this. Who wants to come along with me? Mm-hmm. I always had so much confidence in what I was offering to people, whether it was to try the products as a customer because of the 60-day money-back guarantee, because I knew, hey, they could get their stuff back if they hated it, right? I personally haven't seen a return for people I know, but I know they happen, but it's just not very common. Now, if you've been on the products as a customer and you've decided to join as an ambassador, share your story. Share why you wanted to share this with people. Let people know what you're doing, and that is and utilize social media. I already mentioned earlier the daily IPAs are 1 to 3 social media posts a day. That's not necessarily Plexus posts, that's you sharing your life. Ideally, I see about when people post 2 to 3 times a day with about 30% Plexus, that's where we see the best success. Would you agree, Brenda?
Absolutely. And that consistently doing that too, because not everyone's going to see every single time you post. They're going to be on different times of the day and they'll miss a post. So every single day is important.
Yes, and there's a lot more training we could talk about on social media, but this is really just hitting the bullet points, but you use it. You have your welcome pack, maybe you haven't even gotten it yet and you're watching this. Take a photo of it when it comes in. Be like, hey, I started this great thing, Plexus, who wants to join me? You know, or something cute like, vague, wow, I'm feeling so much better. You don't have to say what it is. People are going to ask you. People want to feel better. And I want to say something else. Don't be afraid to talk about the business, because more people go to bed worried about money than they do about their health. And they are looking for ways out of the situation they're in. So, okay, moving on to events. Events are incredibly important in this business. Having Zoom launch events or in-person tasting events, or going to something corporate sponsors and bringing people, or if a Jewel is doing an event in your area, go to it. Brenda, tell us what you've seen when you go to events and how that changed your business. I
guess it's like they say, those that show up, go up. Of course, I was in the beginning a sponge. I wanted to learn all I could, and I knew by going to hear some people who are successful in the business would be a huge, valuable tool for myself. So my husband and I traveled 7, 8, and 12 hours in our first 6 months to go to some of these events, training, opportunity, anything, to learn all we could. And I think the thing that touched me the most by going to them is hearing the real people tell their real stories and seeing the emotion and just rubbing shoulders with other ambassadors who were having results. It's just, you can't beat that. So definitely go if it takes driving a long way.
Yes, it is one of my main goals when I have a new person join my team is to plug them into a local event. If I can do that, I know it radically changes their view of what they're doing with Plexus. All right, Lori, tell us about the Plexus Hill you thought you were going to die on.
Okay, yeah. So I really wanted to do this business. I believed in this business, but I didn't think I could do an event. I'm the type of person that just can't even talk at a baby shower. I can't get anybody to be quiet so we can sing happy birthday at a birthday party. I mean, seriously. And so the idea of public speaking, I had never done it, had no intention of ever changing that fact. But I realized pretty quickly on, if I wanted to duplicate what successful people were doing, I had to have an event. There was nothing Plexus related going on in my area. There was nothing for me to plug into. And so I had an event. I actually almost wanted to pay another ambassador from another team to come do this event for me. But I had my first event. I had it in my living room with 6 people, all really good friends, except for maybe one I didn't know that well. And I actually cried before that event and talked to myself in the mirror and said, I can't do this. And I said, if this is the Plexus Hill I die on, then I will go down fighting. I am going to do this event. And so I really realized very quickly on, I was so nervous and I was trying to copy Sonia Dudley. I had sat there and watched her presentation and I took all kinds of notes and I was just going to be Sonia. And I was getting nervous because I was like, I'm not cute. I don't have a Southern accent. This is not going well. But somebody asked me a question during the presentation and I realized I know the answers. I know these answers. I love these products. I don't have to know everything. I wasn't even familiar with all the products, but I knew about my Slim. And so now I love giving events. And so I just want to encourage people, don't think that just because there's somebody not giving events in your area that you can't start with just a few people in your living room, because you can. You really can.
And it can look like a lot of different things. It doesn't have to be like a formal presentation like Lori's talking about. It can be having the catalogs out and a tasting party. You're not selling things, you're just introducing people to the products. And you do want to close, but this isn't like a party like maybe what you're used to where people bring lots of products and the host gets extra. This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about you are paid by Plexus to introduce and educate people about the products. And that's what this all it is. So if you want to have a tasting party in your living room, a drop-in where people will taste something new you're doing, look at the catalog, say hi to you, connect, leave. If you want to do more of a formal presentation, if you want to do something online, there's so many options. But having them is a theme we have seen in successful Plexus ambassadors. So get with your sponsor and think about an event. And consistent events. I've been doing some consistent Zoom events and I've been amazed that, wow, the people who I invited 3 weeks ago couldn't come, but now they're interested in coming because they've been seeing me do these for 3 to 4 weeks now, and it's amazing. So even myself as a Diamond Ambassador 2 years down the road, I'm seeing some adjustments and a great new aspect of my business. Okay, I'm going to review a little bit. We didn't mention this, but we're all homeschool moms here, so we know how to teach. Okay, so your goals and your why. The ABCs, attitude, belief, and consistency. Making your list, who to look for. Daily income producing activity minimums. Fortune is in the follow-up. Don't be surprised if people don't buy right away, right? How to close deals, Lori went over that. Social media and consistency in social media, and events. Those are all some very common themes. Okay, now we're going to move on to our second section of comprehensive new ambassador training. Okay, plugging in. You must plug in to your sponsor. You must plug in to the Facebook training groups on your team. You must plug in to local events. calls, team calls, Zoom trainings. There's a massive difference in people who plug in and who don't. I have watched team members even hit gold, and they never really plug in. And I see scatterings of their team when they're not plugged in. But when they can plug in to their sideline people, to their upline, to their training groups, then it's almost impossible to stop progressing, because that's what their team members do. So I don't mean being in front of the computer all day. I mean actual engagement, asking questions of your team members, asking questions of your sponsors, reading what's on the groups. And just, I can't, Brenda, tell how important plugging in is.
Well, it's huge, and anybody can do it. You don't have, like you said, you don't feel like you have to put tons of time in it. There are awesome audio team recordings, calls, and videos that I played while I was washing dishes and while I was folding laundry. I mean, just be learning all you can, because if you just decide, oh, I'm going to just share with people now and then, that's all it's going to be for you. So I assume we're talking to people here who really want to know how to do the best. And so that's why we want to tell you, plug in.
Yes, definitely. If not for you, for the people you bring on board, you need to know how to plug them in, right? So, okay, what do I say? Do I talk about the business? Do I only talk about the products? What do I do? Well, for me, in ignorance, because I've never done network marketing before, from the beginning, I talked to people about both. I called Brenda and said, Brenda, I think you might be interested in this product. It deals with weight loss and blood sugar balance, and I know these are the things you've been wanting to do because of the healing that you wanted to achieve in your life, and I knew what you were working on. And I said, and also this is an awesome business. I knew what the emeralds, sapphires, and diamonds were making in our area. Now we have something great called the income disclosure from Plexus that shows what the average of what each rank makes. But I knew those numbers, and I told Brenda, I said, wow, there's a stay-at-home mom, there's a high school guidance counselor, there's a lady who used to do Mary Kay that's making some real money at this because it's a viable business opportunity. And I kind of just, whichever the person seemed more interested in, I went that way. Were they more interested in trying as a customer? Well, let me tell you, even if I talked about the business and the products at the same time, and they were still more interested in being a customer because they felt that was safer for them, guess what they did when they liked the products? What did they think of?
The business.
It was already on their mind. I didn't save the business information till when they said, well, I want to share now. Because why would someone want to share if they don't know why they would want to share? Except for just natural, you know. But Brenda, how did you feel when I mentioned the business and the products kind of at the same time?
Well, they both appeal. I mean, who doesn't? That's the thing. That's why I think it's important to mention both, because a lot of people's health problems are related to their financial problems. Their financial problems are related to their health problems. And so it's two huge needs we have around us. And so most people are going to want both. Of course, I did try the product first because I wanted to understand and know it and believe in it. But it didn't take me long at all to get on board as a business.
And that's right. And it's really okay to read the person that you're talking to. There's this great book called The Color MLM book, I believe, by Big Al. And there's, 4 different color personalities, and you really want to read the person you're talking to. You're not going to be, okay, so there's red, yellow, green, and blue. And it's a really short read, 30, 40 minutes is all it takes. So, go ahead and take a look at it. But there's a certain type of personality that really responds well to facts and figures. And that's what you can talk about with those people. But if it's a person who's only going to respond to how can I help others, they're not going to care about an income disclosure statement. They're going to want to know how they can help others. Or if you're talking to someone whose primary motivation is personal connection, friendships, and maybe like Maui aspect of our business, then you're not going to talk to them about information, right? You're going to talk to them about, hey, let's go to Maui together. I heard a story at convention. Our top producing ambassador in Plexus, our top distributor in Plexus, how her friend got her to join was to say, well, I'm going to Maui and I want you to come with me. And so really understanding what people's motivations are and tapping into that and speaking to them about what's important to them is what you want to do. And these aren't sales tricks, these aren't business tricks. These matter in your marriage, in your personal relationships, and in your children. You want to speak to things that matter to them. And that's just another great skill that we can learn in this business. To sum that up, speak about the business and the products, but read what matters to them and focus on that. Okay, next up, do you have anything to add to that? Okay.
That's great.
Next up are tools, the tools that you need. We mentioned in the beginning, this is not a business where you have to go into debt, buy a bunch of stuff. You can do this all from your home really without buying anything. But there are some things that we see that people do well with, and that's business cards. There's something about having a business card that makes you feel for real, something you can hand someone. Putting your picture on that is a big deal. People are less likely to throw it away if it has your pretty little face on it. So that is important. Stickers to put on catalogs or on brochures you buy online. That is helpful. Stickers with your name and website and email or phone number or something like that. Brochures, network marketing books. Ladies, name your top 2 favorite network marketing books?
Rock Your Network Marketing Business by Sarah Robbins, and probably the Millionaire by Halftime book.
Okay. Brenda, what about you?
Sarah Robbins' book is what I was going to mention too. It's my favorite.
Do you have another favorite?
My mind's actually blank right now. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I like. I like Go for No. That's a good one. That really it's a really another short one. So the books we've mentioned today are Rock Your Network Marketing by Sarah Robbins, Millionaire by Halftime, The Color MLM, and Go for No. Those are a great start. They're all really short, like less than 100 pages or so. And I love Go for No because it changes your mindset on success. And that book isn't for network marketing. It's for really the way you can look at a lot of things in life. And it's written in a storytelling form. So those are some of our favorite books. I have to say, one of my favorite things about the Plexus Income is that I can go to Amazon and buy whatever I want now. I used to have to limit, this book. Now I can just go to Amazon. This book looks good. Yeah. So that's been a fun perk of the Plexus Income. Okay. Knowing your back office. We have separate videos on this, but you need to know your back office. You need to know where you can find your financial reports, where you can find your customer reports, what your genealogy looks like. What are some other good things to know in your back office?
How to have customers purchase product,
That's off
how
your
to
main
help
website,
the customers
yep.
navigate, and how to have people join. Those are really important.
Yes, and we have separate calls, and I'm going to do a video on this, but sign your people up on the phone as much as possible. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but you want them to know what they're doing. You want them to understand a little bit about what AutoQual is, but basically you want them to feel confident in what they're doing so that they can then duplicate that. Once you sign them up, you want to go over the vision. Even if they're just signing up because they have 2 or 3 family members on the products in the same household, you want to tell them what could be. And I talked to my sister-in-law the other day, and she gave a great example. And she says this, she tells her story, I signed up, I didn't think I was gonna do anything with this business, but what I found was this. And so even if the person is still like, well, this is still what I wanna do, it's gonna be planted in their mind what could be. So don't set people up for failure and introduce them in Facebook groups and say, they're just joining for the wholesale. That's kind of like setting them up to limit them. Tell them what's great tell people where they live, what's great about them, some of the great things Plexus or this group has to offer, but don't limit what people can do. Open that door and let them know that what's possible and that you're there to help them when they're ready. Brenda, do you have anything to add to that?
Well, I agree because it is something that initially a lot of us do join for that reason. But I had one gal when I sponsored her, she said she was not going to work this as a business. I knew she'd be awesome. So I added her to our team groups, and it wasn't long till she called me crying and said, wow, you guys are different, because she had been in previous network marketing. So I think I found my people because she saw the huge difference that we are. And sorry, a fly got my camera. And it just really is amazing when you expose people to what we have and they see the huge difference. So absolutely give them that vision.
Yeah, and I know in Maui, they asked if you initially joined for the wholesale discount. So you had to be a Jewel to be in Maui, and they asked that, and over 80% of the room stood up. And so definitely not your typical business.
That's right, yeah. So in that, as you sign people up, you're going to give them vision for what it can be. You're also going to ask them their goals. You're going to say, hey, I would love to know what you want out of this. Is it just to get your products paid for? Is it maybe to make a few extra $100 a month? Or is it to really run with this business? Just communicate that back to me so that I can best support you. And that way there's not frustration when people are joining your team where you have goals that are different than theirs are. And it also gets them thinking. Notice I didn't say, are you joining, tell me your goals, is it just for wholesale? I said, tell me your goals. Is it to get your products paid for? That's setting the minimum of what I want for people. Because I'm not thinking, this isn't about me, this is about them and all the people they know. And I want my team members to get their products paid for. Plex's compensation plan is set up to get everyone profitable. It's so easy to do that. And I don't want to set people up. I want to give people the best of what I can offer them. And I'm not going to set that bar low. I'm going to set that bar of what I think it should be. Of course, that doesn't always work. People say, well, I really do. I don't care how to get it paid for. And that's fine. I'm still here to support them. But I'm not going to plug that in as a possibility.
Yeah. And continually re-exposing people that join for the wholesale discount to the business opportunity. I have somebody about to hit Emerald this month, and I begged her for 6 months to make this not just a wholesale opportunity for herself. And she told me no, no, no. She told me absolutely 100% no. But I continued to re-expose her, and look at, she just couldn't help herself because she's had such great results with the products, and this is a business for her now.
That's right. Okay, so we've gone over some important things like plugging in, what do I talk about, the business or the products, knowing your back office and how to sign them up and giving them vision, supporting people in what their goals are, and also giving them a vision for what could be. I've said that 2 or 3 times because it is that important. Next up is, as you're signing people up, you need to understand, if you have been in other network marketing companies, or even if you haven't, you need to understand not to give people away. That means they're your contacts, they're the people you're talking about. You sign them to your level 1. You can go as wide as you want in Plexus. I know someone with over 200 level 1s. You better believe she doesn't give people away and stack them under people, right? We see a lot of newbies, oh, I want to help out cousin or friend or Joe or whatever, and put people under them, and there is so much regret. Brenda, I'd love for you to add on to that.
Yeah, I don't know why people do that other than I've seen it happen on my team a couple of times. First of all, if they had another experience in network marketing and that's the way the company was supposed to do it, ours is so much more brilliant. And then the other time I've seen it is when someone wanted to help a family member or a couple family members or friends out, and they thought by putting them under someone, that would help them out. But it actually is crippling to them and you, because when they're handed something, they don't value it the same way. They don't invest their efforts to help that person. You end up helping them anyway, and then you just get that stack.
Yes. So, okay, I think we're losing Brenda a little bit, but yeah, so if you are thinking, oh, I'm going to help out my sister and put people under her, that's not helping your sister, and it's actually hurting the people that you're placing, because those new people are like, well, why is she giving me away? Or I must not be that much of value. And then what are they going to duplicate? They're going to duplicate that. So there is a very, 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 very rare exception to this rule, but if it's your contact, they go under you. Some other things we see for newbies are they think, oh, I have people that live with me. Maybe I should join them under me, whether that's a spouse or, maybe a parent that lives in your house or something. No, just purchase for them through your wholesale account. It's going to help you with PV, it's going to help you with contest credits, and we have a policy in our company that a spouse can't join until you're gold status and gold in the company. And we would even say maybe a little further, significantly further in that before you have a very stable account and if your husband wants to work with you. And we have some files that further explain that. But basically, don't think just because you're gold, you should stack yourself. You shouldn't. I've seen regret in that area too. And also, don't give people away. Don't stack people. Number one, our compensation plan doesn't work like that. Your goal in the Plexus compensation plan should be to go wide and duplicate where people want to, right?
Right, definitely.
Okay. Now, speaking on the compensation plan, you need to understand a little bit about what it is. Watch The Power of Three by Sheila Medina. I won't go into that much because I don't really know how to express it as well as she does, but it's a fabulous video on Plexus Worldwide YouTube called The Power of Three. Be sure to watch that because it shows the power of duplication. And what I want to add to that is that you need to be thinking long-term, not short-term. Think about this person that's joining you, all the doors they can open. The reason why you're compensated as a Plexus ambassador for this profit sharing, team building aspect we have is because as I introduced the products to Brenda, a whole new market in Wisconsin opened. And I am compensated less so than Brenda, but significantly because I opened that door to that door being opened. And something Lori really impressed on me in the beginning is that these doors are going to open. You just want to be the one that it opens through, right?
Right, definitely. Yeah, we still have so far to go as the corporation. I mean, Plexus is barely heard of so many places. Even where I live, I'm a Diamond Ambassador in the town that I live in. So many people haven't heard of Plexus.
Yes, and so if you're new, you may be looking at that preferred customer bonus going, wow, that's great. You know, I want to have as many preferred customers as I can without really seeing the vision for what can be with our profit sharing points and team building. And that's an important thing to understand because that's the difference in steady short-term income versus long-term, huge residual income that can happen. And I know when I first started, the preferred customer bonuses are awesome and they're set to people get profitable, but they're not long-term. So, I mean, they are long-term if you have a customer for 2 years, but most of the time...
Well, they don't have that compounding effect.
Yeah, it doesn't compound. And so you want this business to snowball. So one thing Lori told me in the beginning is as you're building a team, it's like pushing a snowball up a hill. And eventually it's going to get to the top of that hill and just imagine what happens. Just think about the cartoons, you know?
Yeah.
I read this Bernstein Bears book to my kids, The Snowball. I think about how big it can get. So that's what team building looks like in Plexus. Hopefully that just gave you a little bit of vision for what it can be. But what we want to leave you with is think big, think long-term, not short-term. And I'm always willing to risk a really good preferred customer that brings me in a lot of PV if they have those qualities we talked about, which is influence and energy. I am like, sign up all day long, you know, because I'm thinking about what doors, you know, they can, even if they're like, I don't want to, you know, because I'm just thinking about the potential. And I'm thankful every day that I took that very minor risk. Anything to add on that, Brenda? Okay, we're down to our last two topics, and that is going to be how to handle criticism.
Okay, great. I have a few little stories. One is my father-in-law. He's probably going to see this. But when I first found out about Plexus and I was so excited about the business and I was traveling from Tennessee back to California, we stopped at his house, and I'm so glad that I could handle his criticism because he was really negative on the business. You know, one of the things he told me is, you know, it's a scam, nobody ever makes any money and those kinds of things. You know, that's basically ridiculous, and gave me a lot of negative feedback. And I said to him, okay, when you come visit us in California, I'm going to pick you up in my Lexus. And so that is what ended up happening. And so you just have to be able to take the criticism and know that they probably have your best interest at heart. They're not maybe expressing themselves the best way, but you have to decide if that is going to stop you. Because the last time I checked, nobody takes care of your family or pays your bills but you. And so you cannot live your life based on other people's opinions about something that they just don't know about. So what you need to think about is you need to think about, what else do I believe in? If I believe in these products and I believe in this business, do you believe in God? Do you believe in raising your children a certain way? Do you think one color is the better color than another? If somebody gave you, like, I like a white couch. Somebody would tell me having a white couch is a very awful thing to have, but I have slipcovers on my couch and I wash them, and I'm fine with having a white couch. I'm not going to let somebody else's opinion stop me from having the color couch I want. So you have to decide on that, and you just have to kind of have blinders on and know that most of those people are going to end up joining your business.
That's right.
And so there's a woman at a store. She was horrible to me. And a year and a half later, I went into that store, because this is somebody I see all the time, and she was complaining about how much stress she was under with her business and her store. And I took a little risk, even though she bit my head off several times, and told her, well, I have this business and it really works out great. She knew I had the business. Would you maybe be open to it? And she was like, yeah, I think I am. And so imagine if I had borrowed her negative attitude and let it control my future in this company. And so that is really what you have to think about. And you also need to have positive reinforcement. That's part of why it's important to plug in and go to the events and hear the testimonies, because you need to have something that keeps you grounded and positive.
Yes, that is true. Also, if you're getting tons of negative feedback, nobody's ever said to me, is that a pyramid? But I have strong posture. They're not going to say. So think about, are you sending off vibes that allow people to be negative with you? Because if you're excited about what you're doing, I am so happy to be sharing that. You may get some 2% negativity, but for the most part, people who are your friends and who love and care about you are going to be excited for you, even if they don't jump on board right away. So just consider, if you're getting a lot of negativity, what energy and what posture am I putting out there? And you may need to do some positive affirmations where you can affirm to yourself that what you're offering to people is really good and has value, product and business. Okay, so the last thing we want to leave you with is something Brenda mentioned in the beginning, is that this is a simple business. So say that again for us, Brenda.
This is a very simple business. I knew basically nothing about network marketing when I joined. I had my Welcome Pack Success Kit, a couple Sonia Dudley videos at that time in my back office, and it really did work to be that simple in what I was doing. So don't ever complicate it.
And we love that we can do this with our kids and at home and as homeschool moms. Hi, Starla. Is that Starla?
She is so cute.
Yeah. Okay, Lori, what do people hold in their hands with Plexus?
Wow.
An opportunity of a lifetime. That is why we call our events that a lot of times.
When I started this business, I never thought I'd be the type of person that would cry and embrace the terms opportunity of a lifetime. I believed in the products, but I thought all that was kind of funny. But I say that now with so much meaning, because really, right place, right time does not happen a lot. So you hold in your hand really whatever you want this to be, as long as you're willing to do the work. And that is awesome.
And you can do it. Go for it. We just really want to welcome you to the team and to Plexus, and know that we did this for you because we want you to have the most success you possibly can have. And we feel like if you really follow these basics of plugging in, of minimum income producing activities, of having a good attitude, a good belief system, and consistency, following up, using social media, going to events, those are the things that we know through our experience and through watching successful team members, they do and they have success, and that we want it for you too. So thanks for watching, and we're excited for your future. Bye.